Master fader management. So a few videos ago we talked a lot about master faders and how they function and how they basically are just inserting a meter and a fader control in a pathway that's already there. So we also made some comparisons between analog mixers and digital audio workstations with how on an analog mixer, if you mix all your tracks really high or really hot and you have distortion on your master fader, if you just turn your master fader down, all you're going to do is you're going to lower the volume level of your distortion. You'll still have the same amount of distortion because the distortion is happening as these tracks go to the master fader, not as they leave. Okay, in a digital audio workstation, there's some cheating that occurs where most digital audio workstations will take, and if you have mixed too hot and you turn down your master fader, it's going to, instead of just turning the output down and still giving you distortion, many of them are going to actually go back and turn the volume of each individual track down, which is really what you should be doing. And the reason why I kind of push this issue is because even though it cheats for you and fixes it for you, if you don't have an understanding of how to fix it yourself, then there will oftentimes be problems like that that kind of make it through, issues of distortion that make it through and they don't fix for you. And you will not be able to fix the problem yourself or know that the problem is occurring. And so by just getting to better mixing habits where you are making sure that all of your tracks are turned down a little bit more and your master fader is at 0, then you have better gain structure in your song, in your mix, and everything's going to sound better. So what I've done to kind of demonstrate this is I've created a group. It's not just the regular all group. This is what I've called the audio tracks group. And so you'll notice that I've skipped over my submixes, my reverb auxiliaries, my master faders. Okay, so what I can do now is I can adjust the signal level of all my tracks. And so now I can take and turn up these tracks and we can see what happens with the distortion on the master fader. So if I turn the master fader down, you'll notice everything sounds better. We don't have any distortion anymore. But notice that this doesn't really fool the submixes. The submixes still see that we've got distortion happening. So now let's kind of reverse it. Let's turn this back down and we'll pop this back up to 0, holding Option. Bring that up a little bit. So in the end we get the same result, but by turning our faders down, keeping our master fader at 0, we have better signal flow happening, better gain structure, and if we learn from this and follow this structure in all of our tracks, you'll notice that everything is going to end up cleaner and better sounding because you're going to be avoiding those slight amounts of distortion that are occurring as you're going through your track individually and as you're adding all your tracks together to your master fader. So in the future, anytime that you see red on your master fader, don't reach for it, don't grab it. Go for the tracks and pull them down. And you might just want to add some group like this, like an audio tracks group, so you can easily go and pull those down without adjusting the level of your submixes, reverbs, and master faders.